Well, here's a repair that I'm going to make. As you can see, this cable attached from the bow to the bow sprit. There used to be cable sticking out of the end there, and it's not anymore, so apparently it has slipped. And checking some of the figures on these, we're showing 3 crimps there. There should probably only be 2, because when you put too many, it just creates a smooth inside surface that this cable can slip on. That's why it's typically recommended you only do 2, because then it leaves an aberration in the surface that prevents that slippage. I'm not saying that's what happened, but this is also only has about a 500-pound holding. So I'm going to start with this piece of stainless that I've got, fold it in half and drill it, and maybe that will work to be my bottom hold. And I've got some other stuff in the garage that I'm going to use to configure this and put it together. Some stuff I scavenged. So I went down to Home Depot and got myself a shackle. Of course, it's made in China, but that's the best I could do. An 800-pound load there. And then here's a turnbuckle. Came off a boat that my brother had gotten for like $25 or $50 at an auction somewhere. And I pulled all the rigging off of it to the standing rigging to use for who knows what, cable and everything else. And here's a turnbuckle that you'd pay about 70 bucks for. I'll clean it up a little bit. And I bought some galvanized chain. Rather than going to cable, and again, having to work with parts slipping and failing, and I'll just cut that chain to length. Now, it's not as pretty, but I kind of like it. A little bit of the pirate ship work. And I've got some pins and so forth that were also part of the hardware I took off my brother's boat. So, time to get to work. I had also thought about using Dyneema, but it has to be pre-stretched, and if it stretches again while you're sailing, I'm in the cockpit and I can't see it stretching, and I sheet in hard and I can do damage to the bowsprit. So that's why I didn't go with Dyneema. And about, well, battery's good. Well, about an hour of thinking and fiddling around, and here we are. Turns out this is bronze. I thought that was a galvanized steel when I saw it. It cleans up, it's bronze. Could have cleaned it up a little better, but that's good enough. Put some safety wire on. I didn't have stainless steel, so I used some galvanized that I had. I'll just keep an eye on it. That's just to keep that from potentially loosening. And then we transition to the chain, and well, luckily I bought the length. It was 1 link too long rather than 1 link too short. So I measured okay, and then I just used some copper wire down here. And I would have liked to have put that clevis on the other way, but then it made contact with the boat, and I didn't want that. So I turned it around, and when I safety wired it, I wrapped wire on each side, and that should keep it centered so it doesn't shift to the side. But it's got good tension on it. I sighted down the bowsprit, and the bowsprit seems just fine. So again, there's no stretch in any of this that's here, and it should all be strong enough. This piece of stainless steel wasn't going to work. I would have ended up having to cut it in half, and I don't have a shear. I didn't feel like hacksawing it, and then it still would have had to have been bent properly so it wasn't bearing on just a couple of small surfaces. So that's why I went ahead and went with that clevis rather than, or shackle. That works.